Greetings, and welcome to Context Matters. The date is, I think, about July 10th, 2025, and a lot of things are going on in the world right now. So much trouble in the world right now, but one of the most important things is to remain focused, is to understand what's going on in your neck of the woods to ensure that you are aware, and most importantly, that we put God before all things that's happening. Um, I think more than anything, the concept of deflecting is ripe. Um, Deflecting me in the context that people are trying to steer people away from the issues as they arrive. People are trying to, and I'm saying people, whether it be government, whether it be agents of the government, whether it be people with interest in anything, depending on what it is that people, the narrative that people want to push, there's a lot of deflection going on. Doesn't mean that narratives that are being pushed aren't issue based. What we are trying to say is that we ought to always, in everything we do, stick to the issues. That has to be the starting point, or the focus of anything and everything that is being done in the space. Now, having said that, I think more than anything, it's important to remain focused, remain vigilant, and to always just basically pay attention to all things that's being done, and you'll pretty much have a general idea or a general understanding of what we're doing. I want to also say welcome if you are tuned into Reggae Global Radio or the Global TV. I want to say big up to those of you who are tuned in from the TikTok, um, as well as, big up Coda Network. But my people's on the YouTube. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Back to school is coming up, so I have to address it because I know that walking in divine purpose is there, and I know that she always puts up the GoFundMe. But yeah, in my political journey, I noticed that every event and everything that comes up, um, it it comes with political responsibility. Well, back to school is coming up. So apart from the tablet drive, people want books, people want pencils, people want everything in relation to school. People want their school fees paid, people want their book list filled. And I don't know one, certainly in Portland, I don't know one book list right now that doesn't have a tablet on it. If it doesn't, it must have been printed in error. Because certainly, I can't speak for the rest of Jamaica. They're having their school bus issues. But in Portland, we are sending the children in the technological age. And to do so, it means that tablets, laptops, these are basic necessities, basic amenities that has to be made available for students as they go into their new schools. A lot of them are now from prep schools, primary schools to high school. Congratulations to them. I've been at a couple graduations, and there's no greater joy than seeing academic achievements and seeing people pass, as well as looking forward to those who are leaving high school and transitioning into big people business, and whether or not they'll be going to tertiary institutions is another issue. But very excited about that. So for this show, more than any other show, people who own there, money we are look away there. Donate And mind you, you feel free to pack your barrel, pack your boxes, and send the school supplies to me. We will get it cleared. We will get it distributed. And the other parishes, other places, other constituencies, they have their representatives on both sides, so they can go and beg, borrow, or steal for their constituencies. For Portland Eastern, I humbly petition the diaspora to assist with the back to school. There will be several of them going around, and I simply need to do my part, and I'm putting that out there because the children are the future. You teach them well and let them lead the way, and to do so, you have to make sure that they're not excluded and they don't feel less than the people who can travel in Benz and Rolls Royce and brand new vehicles to get to school without worrying about how the buses will take them there. I have very little to say about the buses because certainly there are people, when I'm giving out the tablets are brand new. In Jamaica, we know about Pupina and we know about second hand. But I have heard, and I don't know how true it is, and they'll probably cut this portion of it, but I've heard with full force that there is that certainly one party is okay with second hand. So whilst in constituencies, I take no objection if you pack barrel with your second hand clothes. Or in America, the students who completed school last year, they're not wearing back the old clothes. Pack it in a barrel because there are kids in Jamaica and their parents support that they want the old broke. So the Jamaica Labour Party is for that, and I'm not objecting. If you pack it, I'll have it at the office, and I'll issue the old broke to the people who advocate for old broke. Certainly, for the people who I know are basic human dignity is to also always give the best to people's kids. So for me, when it comes to my constituents, no old broke, but I will pass it on to the people who like old broke. So there's new school bags for the people that like new stuff. The people who like old broke and don't have a problem with it and say a bad mind if you complain about it, send me some so I can issue it to them. And there should be no objection because it is clear you can spend $1 billion on old broke and people say you must not speak about it, even if it is a mechanism to scam taxpayers. So for the purposes of back to school, there are certain parents, me not call no name, that likes old broke for people. So second hand is not an issue in Jamaica. In fact, if you have clothes, old computers, old tablets, old shoes, old pencils, anything, even if you did have it 15 years, we'll go back as far as 15 years, pack it in a one barrel. If Holy Night send me needle and thread, so we can give it to those parents and those families that don't have a problem with second hand. We will make sure that needle and thread is there. Send me some Patex for the old broke shoes for those people. But certainly when you come to my constituency office, everything often new. All right? So that's how we're going to work it, because there is somebody for everybody. Every maca have its sticker bush. So some people like old broke, some people like new stuff. And certainly my family, my children, my generation have to inner the new stuff. So, and my people, my constituents have to get the best of the best. Yeah? If me I eat chicken, them I eat chicken, not chicken back. Yeah? So just know that Old stuff over there, so, and new stuff over here, so. Take your pick. Nah, may I leave it at that. Walking in divine purpose. She said, "Me don't want an old tablet." Some of them want it. They are advocating for it, and if you speak about it, you're a bad man. So since we're in the topic is about deflecting, we're gonna deal with it accordingly. All right. So walking in divine, show them the GoFundMe account, and we deal with that. Big up on yourself. This show, I can tell, is going to be exciting. You know, what wanna say? What you feel?
That's right, right. It's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right. It's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. No, I heard them say life much better you live it your own way.
All right, so I had something that I wanted to show you guys, but I'm not seeing it. Wondering where it went. So let me check to see if it's there. One more time. Man, it's there, you know. Yeah. So while we're on that, so let's talk about this idea of deflecting. Very, very important to have that conversation. Now, if you ever, let me see how best I can say it. Have you ever wondered, or have you ever considered so when people deflect, or rather the word, the verb or the adjective, the present participle of deflect is deflecting. So it is to cause something to change direction, turn aside from a straight course. So the bullet was deflected harmlessly into the ceiling. Change direction after hitting something. The ball deflected off Knight's body. So when somebody is deflecting, though, it typically appears in conflictual situation when a person is confronted with their mistakes. So instead of accepting responsibility and facing the uncomfortable situation head on, the deflectors will try to move the focus from themselves, usually by passing the blame onto someone or something else. So now I'm always here to put things in its proper context. And I'm just addressing several issues as they arise. When Dr. Peter Phillips was running as, when he was the leader of opposition and running to become the prime minister, he raised an issue that was a serious concern. So let's put it in context. Anytime in Jamaica, any boy, any girl, let me use it that way. So I'm putting it in context so you understand. If a boy when I come from nowhere and no live nowhere, no education, no money, come out of the ghetto, add that a girl too, and she just show up and have a Benz and a drive up and down, what do you think the police gonna do when this boy or this girl when no work nowhere, no live nowhere, no have no source of funds, just start drive a GLE? What is the police gonna do? Better yet, pre-Dennis Chong, what would FID do? Looking in the comments to see what they say. If a boy or a girl just show up with a GLE, don't work nowhere, don't have no means. See, Donna Thompson said, them are going to color them up. And Tina says, they are going to tell them that they are doing wrong. They're going to quickly just let them know that they're doing wrong. I'm live right now. I'm going to call you right back. I'm doing my show right now. All right. Yeah. So they'll deflect, and say Tina said they're going to either investigate them or they're going to call them a scammer. And Donna said color them up. So we're not retarded. We know if things don't add up, which is what is called accountability. If you fail to count for, people are going to call into questions and say something wrong. We don't understand. Kimon says, hold on, lock them down, seize their assets and investigate. Yeah, they will do that. And that's what the law requires. So now, if a man don't work nowhere and a man don't have no business and a man is not from generations of wealth and they end up with this massive amount of wealth, it has to be called into question. And so Peter Phillips, Dr. Peter Phillips, as he then was leader of opposition, after saving this economy and rescuing us from the clutches and claws of the IMF, yes, he, as a genius and proper use of his doctoral skills, guided Jamaica under the leadership of Portia Simpson Miller and rescued the economy. When he decides to run for prime minister, he says, hold up, my opponent is building this big house. Where you get the money from? Where you get the money from? And here comes the deflection. You're too bad mind. You're too bad mind. You don't like to see the youths them rise up. Every Jamaican fi have a big house. But woe be unto you the minute your house big. FID come take it if you can't account for it. So accountability is of utmost importance. Yes? Including having a profession that is able to provide money by legal means. This is of utmost importance. So accountability and transparency is important. And so when Dr. Peter Phillips raised it, they said he was bad mind. And for the entire election, they raised that he was bad mind and people must back off and stop bad mind the youth theme house. The youth all no cannot get his statutory declaration certified because he can't say when they get him money from then, and he cannot do it now. And no matter how me can tell you this, no matter how much suit you put on, you cannot be a lawyer unless you get the degree, pass the bar, and get your practicing certificate, your good character certificate, and then you're called to the bar. That is how you be a lawyer. You can't just put on clothes and dress up and become a lawyer. Mind you, in Jamaica, you can just bathe, get up one morning and run up and down and say you're MP. It requires no education, no skill, no ability, no nothing. And although they said that they were going to bring in job descriptions, which was not a realistic feat, basic requirements is not a requirement to be an MP. But as I say, putting on clean clothes don't mean that you're clean. Putting on a suit and a jacket and a tie and a tab and a robe does not make you a lawyer. Everything is dress up and everything is pretense unless you're actually doing it. So, saying you're a businessman don't make you a businessman. Opening a company and having a shell company don't make you a businessman. There are certain requirements. I'm going to stay away from the doctor because some people get them doctor honorarily. Some people get them doctors politically, but I can tell you this. In this new dispensation of education, nepotism a lot of times will cause people to walk out of certain institutions with degree. I don't want nobody to take me out of context, but there's no greater joy than being educated. Graduating from a university that is certified and all of that is important. So I got it right here. They might have got it from Delaware, but I got it right here. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? That's how education works. So may I leave that alone. But to say, do not deflect. That is example number one. You cannot just simply deflect like that and think that it is okay. Don't get up and say that somebody is bad mind just because they raise an issue that is a real serious issue to think about. And unlike other people that them can say, oh, you're too bad man, I have nothing to be bad mind about. I am the grandson of James Samuels Portius. Yeah, the first transportation guru in Jamaica, and he would tell you if he was alive right now, I all bust them. And me can tell you this, the value of $1.4 million could have purchased all new buses. And it's better to have 50 brand new buses and you run a pilot program rather than taking buses that cost $500, $3,000, and we have a drill scandal all over again. And so one more issue that we must stick to is the way some of them also were flooded vehicles that were shipped. So when you go in them rust up. Nah, ask Christ, you can see them. They are buses that survive flooding, washout buses. Like that's why poop in a car and poop in a this, yeah, that if you're in your private capacity and you want to do that, that's fine. But when you're using government money, it is a no-no. So while there are people that say, stick to the issues and don't be bad mind, I have nothing to be bad mind about. I'm a human rights attorney. I know what it is to give people basic human dignity. And a part of that is to treat people with equality. If you would not put your kids in a certain situation, don't put other people's kids. And before I get more into that matter, because there's many things I see floating around, and I can tell you this firsthand, that one of the biggest deflecting is to try to say that something is, hold on, is to try to say that something is, it's to try to look at somebody and say that something is not. So you can take 3 or 4 buses that are the Chrisa one them and trick people, but 110 second hand is the greatest deception of all. I don't have to be bad mind. Speaking the truth will never be bad mind, and people must understand that. What I will never be is because to be bridled or bullied, because many issues. I've been on this show and I say, release the sexual offenders list. It is of utmost importance, and here's why. Because all of a sudden, because we have a school bus system, yeah, taxi operators are pedophiles and rapists. So they were that last year and the year before that. And do we paint with a broad brush and victimize and stigmatize hardworking Jamaicans who would have decided that because there's no employment opportunities that they would buy a car and become their own and become an entrepreneur and drive for themselves and make money? And we pretend that this is not a serious issue to talk about, a serious issue to be tried with a reasonable prospect of success. Let us talk about that reality. Let us deal with that. More than anything. So having said that, somebody said ungrateful. Well, I will say this. In 2022, when this idea was envisioned, it was to include taxi operators, transport owners, private owners. So when there was a time when taxi operators were removed from the airports because Juta had exclusive rights to that space to interface with the tourists. And one thing that we must never miss is that when it comes to the truth, deflection is the art to get you away from the truth. So what people cannot do is when I say what I said, I'm not here trying to be famous. I'm here trying to split justice. And so when we now have to speak about school bus, does Jamaica need a transportation system that facilitates children? The answer to that is yes. What does that transportation system looks like? And because of the best interest of the child, safety has to always be first. So when you think about safety and you hear about cameras on bus and you think about all of the mechanisms, has it been tried and tested? The cameras are for what purpose? Does it breach or offend the privacy mechanisms? Is the cameras something that we want, and who are the persons operating the cameras? Are the people vetted properly? Because, for instance, a bail application was made today for a young man who is a seminal and important part of the campaign of the MP for West, the same transport minister boss. And the allegations are of rape. But as I always say, it's a tape, PNP, no rape. So when we're talking about vetting and who we care about and how we look at that, we have to think about that. But as an attorney, people are always cloaked in the presumptions of innocence. But I can tell you, when it comes to protecting children, the protection is not just because we want to get an opportunity to scam Jamaicans and take our money for we friend them off of a system. A system that works is one, again, if we ever want to become Singapore, who ironically use the Jamaican model to get where they are. We have to step on corruption, stamp it out. We have to reverse that. And so when we think about that, the safety that we want from our kids is not just whether somebody driving fast or driving slow. We have to think about them also to protect them from sexual abuse, to ensure that when you talk about, room for rent apply within, send your resume and stuff like that, where you have your marshal and you have your driver, and whether or not they have passed the sexual offences registry, whether they're not on it, and whether they have no stigma attached to them in relation to conduct of that nature, whether they have associated with in the past with people like that. If we're having those conversations, but we're not sticking to the issue, we just like to run and show it bad mind. But more than that, one of the buses cost $12 million. A second-hand bus that we see traversing the internet that you can buy for $3,000 US for the best version, $1,000 US and $500 US if you buy it in bulk. The Broward County system, school system in Florida, they have thrown out desks and chairs and buses and computers and laptops and everything because first world countries do that. First world countries do that. And so We hear somebody saying, "Oh, the buses are retrofitted with doors on the left side." Nobody had asked that question, and so separate from the people who have very low aptitude, who are scripted because they get paid to be scripted. Let me just make something clear. That is not the issue. That will never be the issue. Sticking to the issue is, what is the cost for the bus, and could you have purchased brand new buses to facilitate the safe travel of children? Answer those questions, because we see where they have misrepresented the bus. They have also waived inspection of the bus. So some of the bus come in and in the mash up, in the pop down, well mash up and pop down. And what's the cost of it? But for $12 million, believe me, we could have a whole 110 brand new coaster buses driving around. And that would have been sufficient. Could take it one step further and ensure that you paint it according to constituency and parish, so that people don't try to take them away. There's many things. And when we're talking about a system, it has to start somewhere. But proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. And that is just the reality. So let no man say that certainly Isaac Buchanan is against a system. No. I am saying that when whatever is put in place, somebody say, if I'm not living in Jamaica, can I still vote? If you are on the voters list, you are allowed to vote if you are in Jamaica at the time of the election. That is the law. Again, to be clear, persons are not to allow anybody to deflect. Stick to the issues. Stick to the facts. Let no media, let no multiple stories being skewed. And I can tell you this. I saw a newspaper article. Several of them came out to say that Floyd Green is a rural MP and he supports the bus system. My brother, you was breaching COVID and you were not charged for it. You saying you support it is of no, it don't come with any weight. When you break the law, you not get punished for it. Just like every single dancer, even Nicki Minaj come to Jamaica and have to pay a fine for cuss bad word. And Mr. Warmington don't have to do nothing. Different laws and different strokes for different spokes. Not even folks. So you can't say, oh, I support something because you're not a part of it. Yo. You ain't got nothing to do with this. So we say, well, I'm putting that out there. And so again, remember, when we're having this conversation too, watch and see, nobody can drape up ISAT. I stand as the human rights protector. And none of them on that side, all of them are breachers of the Constitution, including lawyers on that side. They have no respect for the Constitution. They have no respect for human rights. They don't even have no respect for life. The right to life is a right that side breach every single day. So when you come, you're any compassionate plea, don't bring it over here. You can't make it because you don't care about the people. Because if you did, let's talk about the cost of living. You wouldn't have to be telling it parents, say, we are trying to save you $100 on transportation. And because guess what? There are children who take 6 vehicles to get to them house because parochial roads are bad. Parochial roads, you can't even send no bus up in some of the parochial roads. Let's start right there. And so what? The route that you have are taking children to their doors. The school bus system in America take them and drop them off at them yard. That is a bus system. So saving, we wouldn't be saving $50 and $100 if the cost of living wasn't so high. If you wasn't giving people minimum wage, put on $1,000 on it, and then the dollar has not been less than $160 since you did that. So let us be 100% clear. This country is trying to enter argument, about a bus system when half the people, more than half the people, go to their beds at night without eating properly. Food security is an issue in Jamaica. Majority of the people in Jamaica are suffering from improper nutrition. I'm not going to go as far as say malnutrition, because them have no problem I drink them rum and them boom and them other kind of liquor. So we're not going to get that. But they suffer from food insecurity. It's not food security. We don't have that in Jamaica. There is no food security. People don't even know what they're going to eat. Grown men and women who work hard but have to make decisions like, if you're in Portland, you have to buy water from your member of parliament. Of course, it's election time now, so they find different ways to deflect from that. But many areas don't have water. So you decide, you rather have a school bus or water for bathe your picnic. Let's talk about issues that are real. Stick to it. Show us that you care by dealing with the human life, by dealing with human dignity, by bringing basic amenities that is a right, that is a responsibility of government. Show that. And we're not talking about election, because every single MP on both sides, if you're in government and you are issue tank, a big stone you forget. Any government, anybody we're in a government and you are issue black tank, you forget a bus head. Because water for in a pipe, a water you forgive. Not talking about, the next election coming up with your big size 13 boot, about your water tank and ply and zinc and thing. Anyway, drink water and mind my business. This segment is brought to you by Pure Water. And so we have to keep it real. We have to keep it real. Show us that you care. Yes, that's right. You did the right thing. Send that again, because I'm hiding my face a little bit. Show us that you care by ensuring that parents can go to the supermarket and parents can buy nutrition for students. The same students that you want to go put on, you want to provide bus system, $1 billion worth of old bus. Show us that you care from that. And anybody is offended because I call something exactly what it is, you have an issue. Because there is history on Google. A simple Google will show you what are the mechanical deficiencies that takes place with the buses that have been shipped to Jamaica. The second-hand car industry, one of the reasons why government had to make sure that they had a cap on the years and why insurance companies don't insure vehicles when it reaches a certain age is for the very reason. You can't even get a car loan with a vehicle with over 7 years. You can't, because it is a liability. And so on a next occasion, I will play the videos and show you the safety problems with those buses. I will show you what the 3 lines are for, whether our fire brigades and these fire stations have the equipment like the muscle and all of that to utilize those lines when the buses crash. All of these things are real. But more than anything, we have to ensure that when we speak the truth, people don't vex. We have to definitely make sure of that. And so while we continue to exercise that right, we just speak on it, and then people can say what they want. So like everybody else, when they can't cuss, but they can't cuss me. And here's why they can't cuss me. I speak only the facts, and I speak to the issues. I do not deflect. Yeah? And I speak from authority. You think I yesterday I know about bus? I tell you again, James Samuel Portius, my grandfather that. The Reverend Dr. Joan Portius, my mother that. I grew up in the transportation industry. Let us not forget, all that you see is a reflection of what was envisioned by James Samuel Portius. Let us never forget that. See if anybody can do that and beat me. Check that. When you go check on the facts. Me can tell you that. Right? So, as I am making this point, I want people to understand something. That unless we stick to the issues, we will be misguided. Because let's talk about the schools. And I will always talk, because before all this run up and down, ask Happy Grove High School if the transportation system has gotten any better before school was out. And all the students who have to traverse Portland, Eastern, and the St. Thomas Belt, the actual side that is difficult to traverse, and whether or not that issue has been resolved, because it hasn't in the last 5 years. But more than that, let's talk about when the children get to school. Are they eating proper meals? No. That is why the People's National Party is introducing the meal program. And we're not talking about pink milk and Nutribun. We're not talking about that. We're talking about proper nutrition. Children can't learn without proper nutrition. Did you know, let me speak facts. Did you know that almost 50% of the cohort of new students age 4 have developmental issues? Not gonna say they're mentally retarded, that wouldn't be politically correct. But mental issues, developmental issues, difficulty learning. What will the school system look like? You think it's just sports and run up and down? You think the greatest minds and the greatest people in Jamaica were great because of a failing school system that we have now, and the school system only became bad because of the Jamaica Labour Party? Everybody who is a product of the Jamaican school system was not a part of what is here now. Yeah, pink milk. I don't know what them call it. Yeah, we have to eradicate that, and it's proper nutrition. Not allowing your friends them to be making billions of dollars to just provide basic food that even the children is not even fit for human consumption. But it's a part of the taxpayers' dollar. So nobody in government not doing the citizen a favor by spending our money wrong. Yeah? That we want to, that is what we must think about more than anything. Yeah? We have no other thing to worry about but ensuring that the children are going to have a bright future and have all of access to everything they need to be the best versions of themselves. So that is the irony of it all. When I have Fair Prospect High School that I adopt. They don't have desk and chairs, and I'm providing that for the new school term. Go figure. Yeah? And this is important, and when we spend in government money, it must do so. Right? Well, somebody says in America, the children with learning difficulties has been astronomical, and they get the best food. So I don't know if the person is saying that you shouldn't bother feed the people in Jamaica because they have learning disabilities, because then I would reject that. What I will say though is no matter where in the world you are to get the best food. Nutrition is important. You must have protein, carbohydrates, and a level of fat in your diet so that your brain can function properly. Your brain is a computer, and just like your phone, if you don't charge up the battery are go dead. And people say somebody, Robert Phillips said, man have to eat a food, JLP government, ha ha ha. But I can tell you this, that's the deflecting. Say people are complaining, but when PNP didn't have power, blah blah blah. Stick a pin right there. The cadre of candidates in the People's National Party, a large amount of them are new. I've never been a part of government. Whatever conversations and whatever history people want to talk about, can't bring it over here so to Isaac Buchanan. The change that has to be made has to come from people who don't have that track record of disenfranchising the Jamaican people. The advocacy that is required to improve the lives of Jamaicans, you can't have an idiot doing it. You can't have somebody with two minds doing the advocacy to champion Jamaica. I saw Mia Motley at the CARICOM meeting held in Jamaica, and she says, listen, she's urging our brothers and sisters to join the CCJ as the final court. Remember, every society, for it to run, for good governance, the doctrine of separation of powers must reign supreme. And so the judiciary must function at its full effect. So must it be the parliament and the executive. Yeah? It must work and function separately. And for that to happen, there has to be decisions, especially this is a constitutional election. And it might literally be a constitutional election because there is talk that the Prime Minister is so afraid he can't call it, and it is the Constitution that has to call it. Earlier this year, people had to prepare for election. Now, as I speak to you, it's election time. We are in July. The opportunities for the Prime Minister to call the election is minuscule. The election is constitutionally. The Prime Minister can only call the election before the 3rd of September. Anything after that, Parliament must dissolve on the 15th of September. This country will not have a government as of the 15th of September. And we're at the 10th of July. So, Prime Minister, take some little shame out of your eye and call the election, because if you don't, the Constitution is going to call it for you. But of note, I want the public to know, the diaspora who is the majority listening to me right now. He was very silent on the issue of the CCJ. He doesn't even have an opinion. He doesn't want the Privy Council because the Privy Council doesn't stop embarrassing him. But I can tell you this, whether it be the Privy Council, whether it be the CCJ, you're so wrong in law at every step of the way, you're going to always be embarrassed. Do something and just call the election because the people know the time come. Alright? I see somebody saying, Dennis, if you did have any morals, you would not be speaking like that. These buses weren't tested and Dalvas lied to the entire world. But Dennis is allowed to speak freely because Dennis is a menace. You get it? Yeah. Haha. Moving on. So anyway, so that is another thing about deflecting, because we are past the point of polls. We leave that to the strippers. We're past the point of talking about third term because it's clear the only term that's coming is a prison term. Parliament is on vacation, so we won't know who are the illicit 10. It used to be 8, now it's gone up to 10. We know that. And we're going into an election with at least 10 people on the Jamaica Labour Party side is an illicit enricher, name muddied with knowing that you thief people money and enrich yourself. Taxpayers' money gone in your pocket and you enrich yourself and you cannot account for it. And you sit there with all the shame in your eye and running an election, possibly using the money that you illicit enrich. But Jamaicans not too worried about that because not even all bus bother them. So as again, the GoFundMe is up. Walking in Divine. Anybody send anything? Anybody make any promise about sending down a barrel of clothes with Allbrook for the Jamaicans that love Allbrook? Let me know. Yes. Let me check right now. Yeah, but so that is definitely one of the issues that I'm saying. We are sticking to the issues. And we must not deflect. There are many things. And as I said, cost of living is high. What are you gonna say? Because that is the reality. If you are in Jamaica and you go to the supermarket, you can't buy nothing. There are people in Jamaica that's making $60,000 a month, not a fortnight. And there are people in Jamaica who people have found ways not to put you in the minimum wage category because them say you're volunteering. So you might get $5,000 a week as a volunteer. And you're supposed to go into the supermarket and buy like everybody else. So teachers, police officers, nurses, doctors, public sector workers, let us not forget that before Nigel went on to greener pastures and prosperity, he changed the salaries 300% raise and all of that. And you soon hear them say, yeah, that's why I start to run going to politics. I want 300% salary increase. And he want this and he want that. Say what you want. But let us not forget, this is not about me. This is about the disenfranchisement of a whole nation by the Jamaica Labour Party, Andrew Holness and his cronies. That is what you must forget. And then the finance minister, I see her up in the bus. Should I make a good conductor? Because may I tell you, you don't have to worry yourself. She must can add 50 by 50 by 50. She was a conductor and not the bus there. But to be serious though, we must not forget they did not give you payouts. You did not get salary increases. Salaries are not commensurate to the work that you are doing. So for what it is worth, people must put things in context and stick to the issues. Do not deflect. Do not deflect. And when people ask, well, people say, yo, beautiful speaking, all I do is talk nice and no action. My brothers and sisters, I'm not in government. You're trying to ask me to spend my money that I never thief from nobody and I have to work hard in a court to help the people of Jamaica because government is not doing it. Don't ever forget that. And so if you want to see real change, I'm going to just say it like this while we come up on the commercial break. You vote Isaac Buchanan in East Portland or suffer under action and it's a simple choice, you know. This is a fact. If you stick to the issues, you can't deflect this. You see them dig up the entire road in St. Thomas and I try to fix it back now because them are put in drain. You know how much road in a Portland East and them run, put on asphalt and a drain not there. The first set of rain where ever come for 7 days, It's they're gonna sing the song, let's do it again, do it again. Yeah, because there is a way. So systematic failure I will never be a part of. And I said what I said. We are stick to the issues. But here's it. I'm gonna leave you guys with this, and then this should carry us into the commercial break, and then we will speak again not long after. All right. I am very grateful and blessed that people are interested in having the People's National Party return to managing the business of Portland Eastern. One of the visions for Portland Eastern is to resurrect the economy. I am of the view that the economy is dead. It is stagnant. It is not including the people. The people have nice businesses, but we don't have the people to purchase our products or our produce and our goods. So when we think about how to resurrect the economy, the idea is to bring the heat. H is for health, the E is for education, A is for agriculture, and the T is for tourism. We combine those ministries to give us a fighting chance to revive the economy. What I'm big on is the reality of health. You must have heard the rumors. There are about 3 women which would have lost their lives from a simple surgery at the Port Antonio Hospital. They simply don't have the facilities to take care of people. So we have to think of upgrading Port Antonio Hospital from a C-type hospital to an A. So when you think health, it also includes your mental health, your spiritual health, all of that. It is very important to think about that. Education. I'm very big on education. Education is the great divider. People might not appreciate that, but we must want the future, our children, to naturally want to have the careers, the lawyers, the doctors, the engineers, the chemists, the scientists, all of that. There is no harm in dreaming big for your children. And under the next PNP administration, as the government, education, the school fees right up to tertiary for even the first child, first university, free. We need to think about that. We have to think about our children when it comes to education, and the technological advancements is also a part of access to education. We must give our children that. I go on the internet and I do the fundraisers and the tablet drive to ensure that the children have them. When it comes to agriculture, listen, we have an overlap between education and agriculture. Case must be transformed to a university. And at that university, we're not saying that all farmers must get a university degree. What we're saying is we must introduce them how to interface with the technological advancement to make farming easier. And we must give them the facilities. We must never think of Portland with its rich environment to have big hotel. We should never want that. And there are tourists out there that would love to come and stay in a hut, sleep in sleeping bags, in Moortown, in all of the spaces. And we want to be able to have them here. So we have to think about getting the port, the twin port. We have a twin port, so we must renovate, we must visualize and try to ensure that the type of ships that come back to Portland is having tourists about 5,000 up, walking around the town and interfacing and interacting with the people. So when they complain about having 10 bars on one road, the bars won't have enough hands to service the people when they're here looking around. We need to think of it that way. I must remind them that the N in people's national party is significant. Nation building is what we are about. So we are on a mission to rescue Jamaica from the Jamaica Labour Party. And I commit to make Portland a much better place that includes the least among us to experience human dignity, to experience inclusion. I'm happy to say that I am you. I see you, I feel you. And while money can fix many things, it is love, it conquers all, and I have that for you. Blessings.
It's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right. It's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. No, I heard them say life much better you live it your own way. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. No, I heard them say life much better you live it your own way. That's right. It's all in life. Gotta keep it.
Yeah, right. So, Loxley, I see you. It's interesting. Loxley, I should invite you on the show to tell people about my grandfather, because it's like when I do it, people think like I shouldn't be doing it. Like it's not my grandfather. Like James Samuels Portius is not my grandfather. Like, I'm sorry, what do you want me to do? I come from greatness. You know? I mean, sorry, but I'm sorry. I'm just one of many grandchildren. Probably the least are the worst. Are probably the worst grandchild from James Portius. But guess what? I can say I come from a family of great people, and I'm always proud to say I'm the least among them. But not only that, I mean, my father is big youth. I don't know what else to say to people, but that I cannot help but know what compassion and humility is about. And I can tell you that we not count out nobody. So I'm sticking to the issues, and I'm saying every life in Jamaica is important. And it matters. You know, I see my component talk going around saying representation matters, your government matters. Yeah, context matters. Don't try to steal from me. I'm here to tell you, yeah, context matters. And because context matters, that's why representation matters. And representation comes with advocacy. So don't deflect. And I'm going to say this without any apology. Don't think that you can put on asphalt on road and think that you have served the people, because you have not. Government has a duty to fix the roads. You're only fixing them now. Like I told the people when I came into that constituency, that $1 billion flow through that constituency. Why the constituency look packed down like this? And see for yourself, people. Yes, Loxley, my mother is the Joan Portius, and Joan Portius is not the sister of Big Youth. Big Youth was a real ghetto youth. We turn a big star and go uptown and just take away a rich man daughter and just say, married me. And that's how I got here. So don't listen to the rumors on the internet. But like I was saying, you cannot do what government is supposed to do and try to say that that's representation. You get no points for doing what you're supposed to do, especially you're only doing it because I am now the candidate. and I am the next MP. Live visibility restricted. Okay. I don't even know what that means. All right. Yeah. So apparently I showed the video on TikTok and they're saying something about my visibility is restricted, but that's TikTok. Anyway, yeah. And so, and it's my content too, my original content. You see that? So what is important to note is is finding what the real issues are and hear what the real issues are. Since 1962, the Jamaica Labour Party has only built 11 houses in Portland Eastern. I've said this on many platforms. I am waiting on somebody to say, I lie, me I tell. In fact, if it's more than 29 houses, I put some on it. Since 1962. Show me semi wrong. So they don't care where you live. And we have to move away from our citizens begging zinc and begging block and begging cement to put up a structure. We have to move away from that. We must provide real housing solutions, and housing solutions mean providing the land that is so, listen, land is available in rural Jamaica. Not everybody have to live in Kingston. And living in Portland, I can tell you, there's no greater opulence than living in the countryside and only traversing the Kingston areas when you have to. I don't know how people deal with traffic, like the way how traffic, spending half of your life in traffic from Monday to Friday is a sad situation for anybody anywhere in the world you are. And so we think about transportation and we think about access to facilities that can make sure that your life flows. Yes, is what is of utmost importance to me. And so you don't give people anywhere to live. What have they done for you or to you that you don't want to give them anywhere to live? Answer that for me. So you see, an advocate like me, the next PNP government can't style the thing and not bring houses, especially for young people. Ain't not like when your mother tell you come out our house and your father say, yo, you can't go find somewhere live. You're a big man now. You're a big man now. Shout out to Big Youth and Joan. I like Joan, you tell me that 100 times. But you ain't never kicked me out though. Ain't nothing like living in your mama house. Just ask Prince Williams and King Charles. Them live. King Charles live with his mother till she dead, and him just take over her throne. Goddamn. But anyway, the reality is, being able to own a piece of this rock and getting assistance in doing so. These are the serious. Evian laughing. These are the serious issues that we need to think about. Let's not deflect from the reality. And when we think about education, I'm here to tell you, shout out to Teachfield, School Challenge Quiz, just that school in general, Buff Bay High School, Port Antonio High, Happy Grove. I'm always going to shout out Fair Prospect High School. And here's why I'm calling them out, because these are the institutions that educate your children. Boston Primary, the graduates at Boston Primary graduated to traditional high schools. They passed for traditional high schools with phenomenal scores, test scores from PEP. So it is important to know, and we have to talk education, you know. We're not going to just go on like education not a guan. It a guan. So just because the people right now in Portland who are your representatives I mean the School of Hope got shut down. Persons with disabilities, you would wonder with two representatives like in the East and the West Portland who are learning deficient, you would think that that would be important to them and that they would have facilities in place to ensure that everybody is included in education, especially since they both missed the opportunity to get education, that they would push to ensure. But I am here now. And because education is important to me, I have to push it. I have to make sure that even persons, even adults, have classes for persons with learning disabilities, with have difficulty learning, that they still have access to it. So fear not. All we're doing is a transitional government understands the deficiencies in the current one and will provide facilities. And so we cannot ignore that. And I'm going to talk education because it is the great divider. Education is the great liberator. So we might not have the dynasties and the royal Jamaican opulence where we don't have to go get an education. But a black man like me with dreadlocks on him head, get him education, and life has changed because of that the opulence of education, and a superior brain will make even anybody with money feel inferior. And one of the reasons why they are afraid of me is because of that. Right? So we just have to talk about that. But let us stick to the issues. And yes, Jamal was a very, very important institution. And Jamal needs to be highlighted. And screening. When I just got to Portland Eastern, we conducted screening and we did discover that there are persons who need additional assistance when it comes to learning. And tack on to that, not having proper nutrition, tack on to that, living in difficult areas and spaces where they just getting to and from school is difficult, that learning is not possible with a short attention span to learn. So while we are sticking to the issues, why wasn't it thought of, and why people didn't implement these things when they had the facilities and capacity to do so years ago? It's been 9 years of the Jamaica Labour Party, now 10 years, which we're going into the 10th year. And fret not thyself, I used to teach grown adults how to read. I have a book called Reading Made Easy. No one should shy away from reading, and we must get to a place where we don't scam ourselves and pretend that the reason we don't know to read is because we left our glasses, or we can't see good tonight because me go at Dr. Chu put something in my eye, read this for me, file this for me, help me with this. We must get to a place where we want to learn how to read, especially when the technology can assist us, and it is repetition that helps us to shatter glass ceilings and transition into becoming self-sufficient. And a part of being self-sufficient is being able to read. And let us not forget, we can get assistance to do so. Yeah, but that is a real issue that I think that we should be thinking about more than anything. So again, there is the other aspect of it now, where we are thinking about, there is a black man with autism who had become a lecturer at Cambridge University. Yeah, learning disabilities don't prevent you from being great, you know. There are persons who even have Down syndrome that are doing a lot better than people who claim that they're normal. And notice I use the word claim because we think that being basic is something being basic is normal. Being extraordinary, defying the odds, pushing through despite your circumstances. Those are the stories that people live every day. When you come from a society like Jamaica, it's extraordinary people shine because you come from a society where they try to count you out. You come from a society where they are in the business. They can't tell me I'm wrong about this, you know. The current government is in the business of turning ordinary citizens into criminals. When you go to court and you see the amount of persons that they have before the court for traffic violations, and the non-payment of tickets turns into a 2-3 days in jail until you can be brought before the court and warrants out for your arrest. And some of the tickets being written are questionable, i.e., spliff in your mouth and attempted smoking. No such thing in law. Um, the light under your license plate is off because they tell you to turn off the car. Then they write the ticket. The ability to try to ensure that there is tax collection. There was what, $40 billion in tax revenue just from collecting tickets and whatever. Um, it is telling, and we have to ensure that if we want the best for our citizens, we cannot criminalize them. It's not every citizen in this country, and in fact, I don't know of any other as yet that having gone through the criminal justice system can recover like a Isaac Buchanan. And there are many persons who are saying it's unfair that I could have gone to prison and then become an attorney and is participating in society at the level that I'm participating, because the rest of us who are not doing anything, we're missing out on the opportunity, or however they put it. But the point I'm making is, because Jamaica is a high crime society, we have to find ways to ensure that we advance our own lives while protecting our own lives. And the narratives that's being pushed that Jamaica is unsafe versus safe, and when to use it, and when they're going to use it, it's important to have the conversation about that. Because if we stick to the issues, one thing we will know: there has been a drive and a push through media and the JCF to say that somehow crime is miraculously down. But as a criminologist, as somebody who track statistics of crime and how it is that a country becomes the level of high crime society, it takes 10 years of more than 50 persons per 100,000 that is dead for you to be a part of the high crime society. And Jamaica is a high crime society. And this one-off drop in murders, because it was substituted by extrajudicial killings, which the JCF says is justifiable, hasn't been tested yet. But they push to kill young men of this country, especially when mistakes have been made. If anybody know about canvassing and you look up John Brown, you realize how much John Brown is there. Sometimes John Brown have 3 baby mother, and them don't know each other, and the 3 of them pregnant at the same time, and the 3 of them have sons, and him have 3 John Brown Jr. And that not have nothing to do with the fact, say, There's another John Brown in the similar spaces who also named John Brown. And then when police go looking for John Brown, them don't always get the right John Brown, and them murder somebody that is a mistake of identity, and you can't give back somebody life. You don't believe me? They lock up a young man that is an upstanding citizen, put him in jail, and it was a mistake. And he found himself on the wanted list as well. And that was a mistake. So how many persons unalived was done by mistake? Yeah. So we have to we have to think about these things, and it is about information, which is why even in Jamaica, judges can't put people to death. The death penalty is suspended. Amnesty International, Human Rights Group, Jamaica as a third world country, them no big and bad so to put people to death. So to see it done extrajudicially is really heart-wrenching and unfortunate, especially when as a defense attorney there are persons who were sentenced to life imprisonment for a crime that they did not commit, and you end up overturning the conviction knowing that these people were innocent. And it's not one, it's just to note, it's not one case in my career that I've overturned life sentences. Several. I can't count them. And that can be checked, in fact. All right. And I say this to say that a part of the Constitution and its importance is due process and presumption of innocence. Also, the idea and concept of preserving basic human dignity, the right to liberty. All of these things are what we know is in the Constitution, and as it is breached by state actors who don't know what's in the Constitution or don't care, I prefer to think that they're ignorant and stupid rather than wicked and have complete disregard for the Constitution. So pick your poison, but we stick to the issues and not deflect. So while it is that as I speak the truth, persons will deflect and say everything that I am not, and try to assassinate character in an effort so that the message will be less palatable or poignant or pungent. What this show is about is inviting you to stick to the issues. For instance, as when this show started, I said Dr. Peter Phillips raised the issue of Andrew Holness's house. Jamaicans bought into the idea that Peter Phillips and the People's National Party were being bad mind for talking about Andrew's house. Here it is, years later, he cannot get his statutory declaration certified. Not likely to ever get them certified, and made attempts to have the Constitution strike down parts of legislation and attack the very laws that was created to prevent illicit enrichment. These are issues that you can't deflect. Deflecting would be calling people bad mind. Deflecting would be like, oh, this prime minister do so much. Yeah, you do a lot, but you still don't have your statutory declaration certified. And yeah, there are Jamaicans who don't have a problem with corruption because them hungry and them feel like it's more give a man a blight. But that's what we need to get rid of. We can give you a blight when you serve your time, when you rehabilitate, and when you make amends. Right? You don't just get to walk off into the sunset after your thief from the Jamaican people. A part of the criminal justice system is there must be some form of punishment. It's ironic, because I know that this society has a moral compass. I was on a program and I quote Vibes Cartel, who off in the world right now making millions of dollars, when they say he was a murderer and him shouldn't be freed. So before I freed him, and there was a push to deflect. They didn't want me in the Privy Council. So I was on the program, and they meet in silence, and then Babsy come out and write a letter and say he should be disbarred. He should live on the gully bank. He should never be able to be a part of society, having quoted Vybz Kartel lyrics about oral sex. How dare him? And the whole society agreed. And I was punished by the legal counsel and fined $500,000 with a 2-year suspension, with the hopes that I would not have been able to go to the Privy Council. I'm raising this for the issue that Warmington just come out and cuss up in bad word them and says, oh, I was on a stage and I cussed some bad word. Shouldn't happen. And the society move on and everybody is okay with that. So it's never what. And mind you, I'm not deflecting, I'm sticking to the issues. I'm saying when there is conduct unbecoming, you must pay and make amends. Yeah? So I only say this because I have already seen for myself the hypocrisy that is Babsy. So I can make that clear and declare that right now. But God on time, because in the spectrum of existence, time fixes that. Save and except for she has nothing to offer the Jamaican people as the Minister of Gender on the issue of George Wright beating his woman and then marrying her so him don't go to prison. Not because him love her, but so that she don't press charges. And he's running, and she sits in parliament with a man that beat him woman with a chair, and it's okay. But she had a problem with Vybz Kartel lyrics. But I see her in pictures with Vybz Kartel. We apples and oranges. And then they'll say, but that's a duty. It's not on the world stage. It's not a platform. But I must not be around my client. But it's okay because she's the cultural minister. And we look at these things and we balance them. And we say there's a selective morality. So when a country is bankrupt from selective morality, we have to think about it. But you see, because I'm a human rights attorney, and I love to say it because they can't take it away from me. All these people I'm talking about, Andrew, Dr., Babsy, Warmington, they're not attorneys. They don't know anything about good character. They don't know anything about integrity. They can't. They weren't trained to have that. Yeah? And the lawyers around them that have become bankrupt because of governance, they're not practicing as attorneys. They're practicing as subjects and minions of a morally bankrupt government. So somebody said the cougar is in the departure lounge. Yeah. So that is the reality that I have to speak on, so people understand that you stick to the issues, because let us not forget, today as I speak to you, I can say that time heals all, time is the master, life is time plus chance created, and all the time it is God on time. Nothing happens but within God's time. So anybody think that they are doing something and all you see them doing, I will just point you to the Bible and show you the story of Moses. And it is God who hardened Pharaoh's heart and had him do all walks of things so that he could elevate Moses. And so when you see people going around doing all sorts of things, everything in them arsenal, is God caused that. do all the work because the people know that the elevation is of God and not man. And so you might have had the days when you could trick the citizens in this country are gone. And this is why context matters, because we allow people to stick to the issues. That is what we do. And I take the opportunity, and I don't want anybody to say that I'm getting spiritual, but I did say that I would share this with everybody. And it is befitting of what is happening now in Jamaica, and especially what is the experience that I am having as I'm running in Portland Eastern as the MP candidate. And I'm quoting from Ezekiel 37, 1 to 10. And it says that the hand of the Lord was on me, and he brought me out by the Spirit of the Lord and set me in the middle of a valley. It was full of bones. He led me back and forth among them, and I saw a great many bones on the floor of the valley, bones that were very dry. He asked me, Son of man, can these bones live? I said, Sovereign Lord, you alone know. Then he said to me, Prophesy to these bones, and say to them, Dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the Sovereign Lord says to these bones. I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you and make flesh come upon you and cover you with skin. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life. Then you will know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I was prophesying, there was a noise, a rattling sound, and the bones came together, bone to bone. I looked, and tendons and flesh appeared on them, and skin covered them, but there was no breath in them. Then he said to me, Prophesy to the breath, prophesy, Son of man, and say to it, This is what the Sovereign Lord says. Come, breath from the four winds, and breathe into these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath entered them. They came to life and stood up on their feet, a vast army. No. I share that with you because, you see, it is God who does the impossible. And if you believe and you take instructions from God, there's nothing to fear. So as David in a battle against a Goliath, I keep saying it. I don't know what was in that slingshot, but I know when I cock it back, I eat that. So in famine on the land and people, Psalms 23 say, Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Well, Ezekiel is showing you what God did in the valley of the shadow of death. And he rose up an army. And it says to me from my interpretation that there are people who are sleeping. It's only my job to wake them up. And what am I waking them up from? To let people know that you can't make some people just come into with them uptown self straight out of Cherry Gardens, come in your town, in your country, and decide so them are gonna take your seafront. Them are gonna take with Blue Lagoon. You can't drive on the parish council road. Wake up. You can't sleep no more. A vast army is the voters on the day. All you have to do is wake up. And that is why I am there. It is on a platform that led me to representation, political representation in Portland Eastern. It's documented there if you don't believe me. When I found out I was going to run in Portland Eastern, I did not have a thought that this would have happened. And it's only God who could tell me that this is not of God. And so again, I say it without any apology. I am rescuing Jamaica like I rescued George Williams from prison. And his $120 million is not by mistake. And like I rescue Vibes Cartel from prison, and his millions that is counting and counting and counting and counting, all of them are custom in Germany, it's not by mistake. And to young Virgo, it's not by mistake that you won your case. It's not by mistake that I stopped the state of emergency, and look at them now behaving like it could not happen without the state of emergency. Look at Big Nose behaving like he never wasted billions of taxpayers' dollars on turning ordinary young men into criminals, stripping them of their human dignity and locking them up for crimes that they did not commit. And look at them now boasting about the murder rate going down without using the state of emergency. The only sad part of it is that my brothers and sisters are murdered, and the sons and daughters and family members are scarred for life. Remnants of the post-traumatic slave experience that our slave master did to us. This government has done it now, right before election. And every day I wake up, I see the same narrative: shootout and the man dead, but he was a member of the gang. Not saying it's a lie, not saying it's true. We will never know because the facts ends. No competent court with competent jurisdiction has tried and ventilated the issue. And that is where the problem lies. So yes, I am only here. And again, it's Ezekiel 37 verses 1 to 10. I don't know if that was God telling me that PNP are going to get no less than 37 seats, but only you would know. But just know, neither death nor life can separate us from the love of God. Right? None of the above. So what is important is to recognize what the mission is. And my mission is to wake up Portland. Wake them up and let them know that the land that is there belongs to you. Allow the People's National Party to build the houses and to give titles to land. I know a lawyer, I know a competent lawyer that will make sure that you get title to your land. And for the young people that you know have to itch up under your mother and father, you just need to throw your NHT so you can get access to the loan. Empress, me know say I'm more, but me say no less than. What me I say to you is a sure victory. Nothing can stop this. We all the way up. PNP, know that. And we don't care what the labor rights say or what they say we are. That's what we're here for, right? And so I share that with you. Ezekiel 37, verse 110. Because it is a part of what not only my ministry, but a part of my mission. And it's to wake. And the dead, my interpretation is the dead is not of a physical death, but a spiritual awakening that has to take place with the people of the entire Jamaica, to understand that we stick to the issues, don't allow them to play on our emotions and let them deflect. What do I mean? Listen to me, man. Anybody with sense knows that we need a school bus system for the children. If it were up to me, there would be all new buses and the system itself would be free, and it would take the children to their homes, and we would know the bus drivers, and the bus drivers would be like our teachers. Like in America, everybody knows the milkman. and everybody knows the postman, and it's a part of community life. However, just because we need something doesn't mean that we have to start off bad. Just because we need something doesn't mean that. Hold on, I'm not gonna even address Brescia. One Brescia, you're an idiot. I said that. I have authority to say that. Yeah. But again, I want people to understand that just because we need something, it means that we have to take it basic. Just because we need a school bus system doesn't mean we're supposed to start with the system with old buses. It's going to fail. And it's going to fail because the parts for the buses, where will they come from? The maintenance of the buses, where will it come from? Is it that they have already put their friends in the spaces to provide these parts at billions of dollars to continue to steal from the Jamaican people? Because I can tell you this, so when you have a new car, you don't have to maintain it for 5 years. So you see, if you have new buses, if you put in new buses now, not one of the buses would mash up until the next election. Not one. Unless it crash. But maintenance would be a guaranteed thing. That's how new car work. But it cannot always, Paulette, be who can't hear will feel. Because the only people feel is taxpayers, because it's taxpayers' dollars. And when cost of living goes up, it's less for us to eat and more for us to do. And I don't know about you, but that is why I don't allow people to deflect. I can never allow people to deflect. And I have not gone on to any platform and as in political platform and start a discourse about it, because you're never going to win without inviting persons to stick to the issues, the seminal issues, the serious issues, the issue to be tried. Kimon says, right now, no one has belief in politicians in Jamaica. And rightfully so. Why would you believe in a government that has tricked the people? Or in the first 100 days, what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. We're going to have term limits. Now you're balling out third term. You're going to sleep with your windows and your doors open. And believe you me, sleeping with your windows and doors open, mosquito would have kill you. Something going to kill you, so you might as well keep it locked. But the irony is some people don't even live nowhere, so they don't even have windows and doors to open. And that's because of what government has done. And when you're mandated to build 70,000 homes and you only build 24,000, you fall short. You build such little amount of homes that you can go around and distribute them yourself. And people think, oh, well, this is good because euphoria. Yeah. So we cannot get caught up in all of that. We simply can't. We can't be distracted. We can't allow people to deflect. And I've been saying it all night. Deflecting is a serious problem in this country, because it causes people not to address the issues. And all I'm saying is stick to the issues. Present to me anything. If you want to start with me, present to me anything, and we stick to the issues. And one of the ways to stick to the issues is not to say they did it, because you're admitting that what you're doing is wrong. And one of the issues is not to behave like we blinded to the reality. I've seen people politicize regular things. And I've seen people starting to do things they never knew could have been done because I'm in the space. So I'm flattered that I'm causing people to work. But the true issue is, and that's deflecting. You're working because I'm there. But what about all the times I wasn't there? And what of the rest of the country? And that is that is it, Dalton. A vision for Portland where the economy is resurrected and the people are making so much money it spills over to St. Thomas and it spills over to St. Mary. Because it's one Jamaica at the end of the day. And yeah, you see people talk about skill training center, but I'm advocating for CASE to become a university. And when it does that, it has its East and West campus. Because Portland is really one. Portland is one land, it's not vast land. Can tell you that right now. And Kirisha keep on saying that we want back Jamal, and I think that that is true. Jamal is an institution that would have helped those who missed the opportunity to learn how to read and write to be able to read and write. But what I see this government has done is to say, we've no business with the old people. Let us try to just help the young. So you want to teach the young to read and you don't care so their mother and father don't know how to read. So of course you have to bring back Jamal. And of course you must, instead of using PBC as a political platform to advertise for government, why not have the learning programs so that people can look at it? And why not knowing that people don't use TV as much again, increase the platforms so the platforms are competitive. And so yeah, all these government agencies can find them way on the platforms that the people like. So anywhere the people are, you must open the classroom to them so that they can learn and become and educate themselves. And in terms of skills, and skills training, a university like CASE, which is we can have facilities to improve the skills training. So Heart Trust NTA would play a greater role in partnership, because the truth be told is not everything is made available in the parish when it comes to heart. And the idea to always have young people and people in general to be traveling out of parish to access education is not desirable, because again it can become an expensive feat, and that will cause deterrence. No, we talk about my back to school, it's 5:50 right now. I have 10 minutes left. May I go? Me no understand how me no see walking in divine purpose tell me nothing about anybody donating. I mean, used to brag say nobody can beg like me, but it look like my skills gone. Nobody in the world got swagger like us. Let me look. Yeah, see there? I lie. Yeah, may I see? Go on, yeah. Rosemary Bryan, big up yourself. Cause you send me some money on the GoFundMe. Merle Pike, big up yourself, cause you send me money too. Where the rest of y'all at? Yeah, there is three main things that will drive Jamaica's economic well, I guess you're saying economy, entertainment, farming, and sports. Well, it depends on what parish you're in, because again, tourism is always going to be a big factor. But I agree with you. Sports, entertainment, and tourism is the three biggest things. So, um, what would that be? Pet, improving pet. Get yourself a pet. Um, that would be PES, SEP, eh, PES, S. See, you have to do it a certain kind of way. But people is always, it's people, entertainment, tourism, rather than sports. I don't know. Set, sports, entertainment, and tourism. Set, yeah. Well, yeah. But you did say agriculture, right? Because you said farming. Mm, the agriculture, right? I That's why I say it depends on where it is, because I know in Portland Eastern, as I said, it's heat, health, education, agriculture, and tourism. I've a set. Maybe Andrew Hutchinson. Maybe what we want to do is to say tourism, education, agriculture, sports, and entertainment, and just call it tease. I like that, tease. We have to tease them, yeah, and boost the economy. But for me, always education is key. I can't get past that. Um, Mr. Buchanan, you are one of the best I've ever come across. Keep up the good work. The word is love, peace. Thank you, Donna. Big up yourself. I like all the positive comments, because I have some people are just bare negativity they be killed. You know what I'm mean? So big up yourself. Yeah. So as I would have said, when we're talking about sticking to the issues, that's what comes to mind. Um, let us not forget that. And so as we march into the next election, again, Ezekiel 37:1, we must have a vast army, and to do so we have to wake the people up. When the people are awake, they cannot fall victim to deflection. The government, having spent 9 years and has failed to include the people, cannot deflect. If they stick to the issues, see there, Ezekiel 37:110. Thank you, walking in divine. I invite everybody to go and read it. The government won't be able to deflect. The government won't be able to dance around the issues. The government won't be able to say we have done enough, because they have done nothing to improve the lives of the people. And they put in making pie charts and bar tables to say that the economy is booming when you are suffering is of no consequence. Telling you that give us 5 more years so you can be included this time around is not something that is going to is deflecting. So I am one that will always stick to the issues and not deflect. So I don't need to get into argument and dance around issues and descending to the arena of nothingness when it comes to this. Last week I wasn't here because I was helping my sister Doreen in West Portland, and she's doing great work down there. The day before that, I did my office opening, and let me tell you something. We do a motorcade and we drive up and down Portland live and direct. You will never hear me have any conversations about the tearing down of poster boards and signs with my face in it. Is it true me ugly? I never want to see my face up there anyway. So you won't hear me talk about that. Because when it comes to ensuring that your life is better, the choice is simple. It's ISAT. I'm going to say it already. ISAT Buchanan or suffer under action, and nobody can say me wrong when it comes to that. Yeah? So if it was a DJ, I just say, East Portland, choose ISAT Buchanan or suffer under action, and get tricked. Anyway, this was a very, very nice context matters. I hope to see you guys next week, where we will continue with our conversations. I also look forward to I should play that. Yeah, I also look forward to just putting other things into context. I have to say this. I don't know if the creator, Ron the creator, is on, but boy, let me tell you something. Many things happen in life, and just sometimes when the unbelievable things happen, you don't know how to process it. Just stand firm, keep a pure heart, a pure mind, and never lose focus. High meditation. Oh, and walking in the divine purpose, I must talk about the GoFundMe. But we talk about it. So one thing about me, may appreciate all those who have participated and assisted with the GoFundMe thus far. Appreciate everything you guys have done. Again, contact me where necessary for the persons who want to send stuff for the back to school, and for those of you who want to participate in the Old Brock program. There are persons out here, I've seen them all on the internet, who says, "Oh, we got another donation." I don't see it. Let me refresh. Who was it from? Let me say thanks from now before the day done. It's the same one, Rosemary Bryan. Yeah, and I've seen. I'm saying it again. I've seen on the internet that persons are saying that they don't have a problem with Old Brook. So for the back to school and the parents who want and support the Old Brook and support secondhand, please pack the barrels with this clothes from last year or up to 15 years that you're not using. Send it, we will clear it. Shoes, clothes, underwear, underclothes, use pencils, use tablets, use anything. If you send them in the barrel, we will distribute it to the parents that don't have a problem with accepting Old Brook for their kids. All right? But for people who I know that have basic human dignity and respect for themselves, we continue the tablet drive, issuing brand new tablets and issuing brand new anything when it comes to certainly the people of Portland. So I don't know about anywhere else, but I'm speaking for them. So big up on yourself, and see you guys next week for some more context matters. You get me?
It took some time to understand, yeah, just what it takes to be a man. Now it seems each day you learn something to make a better way. Growing up ain't just a phase, it's reality. And sometimes it's hard to face the world with your head screwed on. But in time you will see, it comes naturally. that's right. It's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right. It's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. No, I heard them say life much better you live it your own way. But if you need a helping hand, just call on me, I will be your friend. And when it gets hard to face the world with your head screwed on, just tell yourself you can. And that's when you'll understand that the hurt and the pain, it's all part of the game. It's all a part of life, to laugh and to cry. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. You gotta keep on moving on. Don't let no one stand in your way. Gotta keep on pressing on. As we pray for better days, keep it moving. Moving to the next. When they try to bring you down, we gotta take it. Take it to the next level when they come around. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. Just keep your head up, yeah. Just keep your head up, yeah. Gotta keep your head up, yeah. Cause everything's gonna be alright.
Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Keep your head up.
Cause everything's gonna be alright.